is right this way. So
I don't see anything live, babe.
we're a little
Thanks,
late.
sweetie. What do I put it on? Do not disturb?
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah, because that will be really
Yes.
annoying.
Do not disturb.
Should I go on Instagram or? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay.
And then
All right.
we'll switch over.
Why is it?
Hold on. I know the legs.
Damn it. This is big ass.
Feed stream.
Okay.
Okay. I fit into there, and do you fit into here?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Checking connection.
Make sure you're on here. Is that good?
Yeah, that's great.
All right.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We made it.
All right, we made it, guys.
We made it.
So,
About
welcome.
to say good morning,
Yeah,
and then
good
I realized
morning. No,
it's
it's-
not good morning.
No, it's 20 of 1. Sorry. Yeah, I know. I feel like we're in like a spaceship with like all these different like things to operate, or like a plane.
Yeah.
But we are so excited you guys joined us. We have been live streaming and doing a live coffee chat every Tuesday morning at 9:30. We had to bump it to this afternoon today because we had a closing, which is Real Estate Life. So we wanted to make sure that we can stay consistent and we're held accountable. I had a few people message me, hey, what happened to your live coffee chat? And I'm like, thank you for holding us accountable. We were planning on doing it and it was just bumped a few hours. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are also, for the first time, live streaming on our YouTube channels to see how that goes and if that's easier for our subscribers. And we also have both of our Instagram channels. So if you see us looking different
I think I'm
ways.
gonna focus on Instagram and then just maybe keep that like on the side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why our eyes are going everywhere.
But also, wait, people don't see you in my screen.
Oh, wait, hold on. We'll back up. It's my mom
Yeah,
from
wait.
cheer.
To like
Whatever.
this chair.
I'm on a diet. Full charge.
We all are. I'm actually on day 2 of my diet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm on day 8 and I weighed myself this morning and I'm down 3 pounds. Not that it's anything to write home about, but
Now that every little bit counts.
yeah, I really think it has a lot to do with counting your macros
Yeah.
and looking at what you consume every single day. Like before I would just eat if I was bored or stressed
Or
or
on the go sometimes.
like you're on the
so
go.
just-
So you don't eat for like 5 or 6 hours and then you eat like everything.
Yep.
And now that I'm hyper focused with tracking my macros and looking at how much protein I'm consuming
Mhm.
and how many healthy fats and carbs. And it's almost like a game because anything that I do, as you know,
Yeah.
I either don't do it or I go all in and do it 100%. I can't half-ass anything. I've never been like that in my whole life. I can't
Yeah.
just do something halfway. I just get too much anxiety
I
over
mean,
it.
it's like both of us.
Yeah, that's why we get along so well. And so now I'm like, ask Bill, my fiance, like I'm like a few.
If you're into it,
Yeah.
you're into it, and if you're not, then
Yeah,
you just
just-
don't even do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I know. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm glad we're on here today because I want Nino to talk about her closing that she had this morning. So I know we haven't really been talking about real estate on these live chats, but we are going to talk about real estate real quick because I think this is important to hear for anyone that is currently in the market to buy a house. They're thinking about maybe buying in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Or if you're just curious about what's going on in the real estate market.
Yeah.
So tell the viewers this story about your buyer clients. And I'll let you take it away.
So, we had a closing this morning, which I'm like so excited about it. I get more excited when it's people that I'm close to. So they're actually my friends.
Yeah.
And we've been looking for almost a year, I want to say, if not a little over a year. So we started this whole home buying process last year. And that's kind of also just a testimony to the fact that when you start thinking about purchasing a home, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should reach out to the real estate agent that you're thinking of working with. only when you are actually ready to purchase. Like
Mhm.
it's good to start the process sometimes even a year out, even if
Yeah.
you don't end up buying a house right away, because we understand that life changes. I think oftentimes, and I've had clients say this to me, where like if we go out and we look at several houses and they don't like anything, they don't want to put an offer on it, and then they start apologizing to you, which I'm sure you've had that happen.
Yes.
And it's like, it's obviously very sweet when they do, but at the same time, I'm like, you don't have to apologize to me. Like, this is literally my job. Like, this is what I do, and I love it, and that's totally fine. If anything, we got to see what houses are out there, and it gives you an idea of what you really do love and want to continue looking for in your house, or what you don't, essentially. So, but long story short, yeah, we started the process about a year ago. We're outbid. We actually did put offers in, but we were just outbid so much, and the process just got very overwhelming.
And her clients, just to give you guys some perspective, are looking in Jersey.
Yes, Jersey.
So, and what parts of Jersey?
Like Central Jersey.
Central
basically.
Jersey. Okay.
So I want to say like we're kind of like Monroe, Matawan. I mean, we went all around, but we ended up finding a house in Monroe.
Okay.
But all those areas, Old Bridge, anywhere from like Freehold up, and then east and west in both directions. The markets there right now are just absolutely insanity. I don't think I've actually ever experienced anything like this. I mean, I know PA had pockets that were like that, and parts of Jersey are like that. So where people are still bidding, let's say 50, 60K over, or one of the houses right before we found this house that they ended up closing on, we put an offer in on that house. I think I mentioned it last week. There was like 68 offers.
Yeah. And actually, just 68. To keep you guys informed, where we work in PA, so Bucks County, Montgomery County, Philadelphia County, parts of Chester County, and then a little bit of the southern Lehigh County area as well. It is still happening here too. So cash, there's 33% of buyers statistically are cash buyers, which is wild. I'm like, where do people have all this cash to tie up into real estate? I'm all about putting the least amount down, because then you can take that cash and leverage it in other investment vehicles or buy multiple properties with it. So to tie up $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 in a house is wild to me, but that to each his own. Talk to your financial advisor about that. But it's still happening here too. So Central Jersey, South Jersey
as well. So many people are moving from North Jersey down. Big reason is property taxes. So it's funny, right? Because it's like you have one state, and we already know that every state operates so differently, but even in the middle of each state operates completely differently, like when you're in the north or the south, whatever. And oftentimes you do hear North and South Jersey are very different. Very, very true. And so when COVID happened, you noticed a lot of the people living in North Jersey and in New York started moving to South Jersey, or just like making their way more south, essentially. So lots of builders out there, lots of investors. But anyways, that could be a whole nother conversation topic. So my clients, so they got outbid a couple of times. We ended up taking a break. Then finally we came back again, and we started looking earlier this year. And we were going out on showings, oh my God, like every single week, if not once, maybe even twice. So looking at houses, checking out different areas, understanding like what you're going to get for a particular budget. And then I said to them, you know, whatever happened, like, did you guys ever talk to Jesse, who's, you know, our lender that we use often, about the Cash to Keys program? And they're like, oh, I think we briefly spoke about it with him, like when we first started the search, but we can't really remember what it's about. Long story short, I ended up, connecting them again. And I was like, hey, Jesse, can you just like give them a call to explain exactly what the Cash to Keys program is? Because I think there was like maybe just some miscommunication or like not understanding the process. So they spoke to Jesse. He educated them on the Cash to Keys program, which basically Cash to Keys is only done through Annie Mac?
Yeah, I don't know
Yes,
any
I
other
don't know any
lenders
other
that
lender
have
that
this.
does that. Yeah.
No, it's so he works
it's
for Annie Mac Mortgage, and it's
program
available.
exclusive to Annie Mac Home
Yes.
Mortgage. Yes.
And it's available for conventional buyers and VA buyers. Unfortunately, FHA buyers or USDA buyers, this is not eligible for, but it's conventional and VA buyers. And
Yes.
it turns your offer into a cash offer because the Annie Mac private equity fund is actually the buyer on the agreement of sale, and you're able to eliminate your mortgage contingency.
Mhm.
And if the buyers want to be even more competitive, they can choose to waive home inspections. The only contingency on it would be a mortgage appraisal contingency because it has to appraise. And the buyers, again, are more than welcome to cover an appraisal gap. They would have to write that, into the contract, and they would have to bring that additional cash. But then what happens is the contract is then assigned from Annie Mac, and it's assigned to the end buyer, and then that buyer ends up closing on the house at settlement. But it has that underlying stipulation that if, God forbid, anything happens to the buyer's employment, they're unable to qualify all of a sudden, whatever the case may be, Annie Mac will come in and purchase the home in cash anyway. And then once the situation with the buyer once they're able to get qualified again, then they buy it back from Annie Mac. So it's an incredible program. We've had multiple clients of ours be successful with it. And then Nino's clients are the newest clients to close with cash to keys. How many offers would you say this house had? Do you know?
So this house actually did sit on the market for a little bit.
Okay.
But right after we put in our offer, so the funny part was we scheduled a showing. The next morning, the house had a price reduction and they scheduled an open house.
Oh my God. You're, as the buyer's agent, you're like, no, don't do that.
Like, the house has literally been sitting. Like, I have a buyer. Apparently, it did go under contract, then it fell out of contract, then it went into those weird winter months where there wasn't a lot of action, and now the action started to pick up again, and they got several showings too. And I was like, I don't care. But you have to legally present my offer to the sellers because we scheduled the showing before the price reduction happened, before the open house happened. So if you're going to start looking at the other offers, you first have to assess our offer and let us know if this is something you're going to consider, because it was like a Wednesday that we submitted. So it was, well before the weekend. Yeah. So I said, I would appreciate it if you would at least present our offer to the sellers. It is very competitive. We're coming in as a cash offer. And the funny part is that she actually knew a little bit about it. She had a cash the keys offer on a different house she was
wow, look at that.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
So she was semi-familiar. And then in this particular situation, which I think is also, you can apply it to other situations where sellers want quick closings. For example, like if they found another house and they just need to get rid of their house, or in this situation, it was an estate sale. There was 4 sisters selling the property, and for them, it was really just getting it off their hands.
Yeah.
The great thing with the Cash to Keys program, and I think that's really what set us apart, was the fact that we could close super fast. We closed within 4 weeks.
Yeah, and actually
4 weeks, guys.
The soonest that they can close is actually 15 days.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's because it's a cash offer.
Actually, now I got to do the math. Maybe it was 3 weeks that we closed.
Yeah. Even. You're basically just waiting for title to come back, especially if you're not doing home inspections. If you're cash waiving everything, waiting for title to come back, obtain any resale certifications, use and occupancy requirements, and then you're going to closing. So
the only thing that I'll say is that in Jersey, you have the attorney review process, which you don't have in Pennsylvania.
Makes things a little bit quicker in PA.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I'm sure they're so excited.
They're so excited. I'm super happy for them as well. The house is a little outdated, obviously, but they are excited because they're literally going to transform the entire home.
Yeah, that's
so I'm excited, and I actually love those kinds of homes more, just because you get to really make it your own. Yes, like new construction is great. It's you walk in, you get that wow factor.
Well, you bought beautiful. Both.
I bought both.
Yeah, she bought actually new construction, her first house, and then the house that she lives in now. It's not that it's like outdated, but it's how old? 20 years old.
Well, it was built in 2004, so it's going to be 20
Almost
years
20 years
old
ago.
next year. Yeah,
Right,
exactly. So it's not, it's not your modern
Right.
fixtures and
Right.
finishes and all of that. It definitely is a little bit outdated for, I would say, today's market.
Right.
But I was excited for that.
You can make it your own.
You can make it your own. You get to pick out the backsplash. You get to pick out the countertops. You get to pick out the floors that you're going to put in. You get to pick out whether or not you're going to replace the existing carpet with brand new carpet, or maybe you're going to put flooring down instead of the carpet and get rid of the carpet.
Yeah.
You get to make those decisions. New construction, you better like what you're buying, because you can't do that. And if you're going to buy the new construction, it would be really stupid for you to just I don't know,
like, this is brand new. I'm
knock down the bathroom and start building a whole new bathroom
Yeah.
because you don't like the tile.
Yeah.
You have the ability to do that. And I think also if you're handsy, or nowadays, I mean, YouTube, literally my husband YouTubes every single project that we do. No joke. We're working on our backyard. He goes to watch 5 hours of YouTube. I swear.
Bill doesn't even YouTube it. He's like, I'm just gonna figure it out. I'm like, oh God, let's please hope this turns out good. But it did. So he did a project at Christmas time. We put shiplap in an accent wall in our living room,
and it came out
beautiful.
It came out
great. And I don't think we YouTubed it. Maybe I think I asked our friend Jen. I was like, you did this in your bedroom, what? And she goes, every fourth row is a repeating row. So if you just do that, you'll be fine. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then it turned out okay. Thank God.
Yeah. So I think it just depends on what you're looking for. The other great thing that I will say about this house, because we were able to put in the cash. This is the best part. I don't know if I told you this. So we went in cash to keys. So we were able to accommodate a super quick closing, get it off their hands right away. Right. Another thing is we went, so if you have an agent representing you, sometimes it doesn't actually make it better if you offer $10,000 less. Instead, offer $10,000 more and ask for $10,000 in seller's assist.
Yeah.
Which is what we did with this offer. And so they actually had the sellers cover $10,000 of their closing costs.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Which is amazing. That's $10,000 less that you have to bring to the table.
Yeah.
And more money in your pocket to go and start your projects. They're literally starting their projects right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That, and then the other part of it was something else. Oh, they closed on the house. And even with going 10,000 over and asking for the 10,000 assist, they're walking away with $12,000 in equity in the house.
Oh, because it appraised
in today's market.
12 more.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's unheard of in today's market.
Yeah. And that's without doing any improvements.
Without, just as the house is right now, it appraised for $12,000 more than what they purchased it for.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm super happy for them.
Well, they better be leaving you a glowing review on Google. Sarah and Matt, if you're watching.
And so I was actually talking to her. I was like, yeah, I uploaded my first YouTube. Well, not my first YouTube video.
You started your YouTube channel 7 years ago?
Yeah, in 2016, I think it was. I showed you my first
video. She looked like she was 15.
I was close. Yeah, I was close to it, but not just there. No, so we were talking all about consistency, and so I was telling her how I decided I just need to be consistent, and I don't care what it looks like, because the editing takes a really long time.
I told you,
really
5.5 hours. The first video I did with editing, I was asked Bill. I was up to 3:45 in the morning. I'm like, I told my viewers it was gonna be up. I have to get this done. It's gotten a little bit better for me. I actually have one of my next video is actually going on as soon as we finish this live, because the other thing is, depending on the length of the YouTube video, when you upload it, it does all their checks and processing. And I tried uploading it last night. It was an hour and 15 minutes of checks and processing. I'm like, I'm just going to do this tomorrow. So I can't do this now. So when we get off this live, I'm going to upload it. And it's all about, I did my sister she runs a flower farm and a property care business. And she did a workshop of Easter basket centerpieces for Easter this weekend. And that's what the video is on. So you could do it yourself at home or with your kids. And it's a fun, springy garden DIY project to do
that.
that's like out of the box. And the cool thing is because it's made with real flowers and they're actually bulbs. Allie said that they last, my sister, like 2 to 3 months, which is wild.
Wow.
But if you didn't want the centerpiece on your table in July, you could, after a few weeks, take the bulbs out and plant them in your garden and they'll come up every single year.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
It's a great project to do with kids, yourself, girlfriends. So that's going to come up later this afternoon.
I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was telling them about the video that I uploaded and how like, you know, the main thing is just getting it up. So I was like, yeah, that's why I said, just subscribe to my channel, please, but don't watch the video because as I am uploading the video and I'm watching it over and Ilya's sitting next to me and I'm like, I just literally uploaded a video that's less than 3 minutes and all I did was say hi and bye.
You know what? That's okay.
The entire recap of my video is, hey, I'm back on YouTube. I have 2 babies now, and I'm breastfeeding Amelia now. So anyways, thanks for watching.
Hey, at least you got it up, okay? Because you have to start somewhere. It's never going to be perfect. Even if you waited another month, because you're like, oh, I'm going to research how to be a fabulous editor on iMovie.
Oh my God, yeah.
Do you use iMovie? Is that what you've been using?
Yes, iMovie.
Yeah. So I'm going to research how to be a fabulous editor on iMovie. Even if you did that for a month, you're still going to be like, you know, I'm not that great yet. I'm going to wait. And then that is, I think we might have talked about this the other day, or I put a post up about always getting ready to get ready. And then you never execute.
Do anything. Yeah.
So just start. And a lot of entrepreneurs, if you're watching, you're an entrepreneur, you can totally attest to this. We jump off the cliff and we build the parachute on the way down because that's how you learn, that's how you grow, and growth, and it only occurs outside your comfort zone. And that's really when you're going to see a difference and a change in your life. So I'm proud of you for getting it up.
Thank you.
Even though I didn't watch it, I'm going to watch it because you have got to get the views too, you know.
Yeah, I know.
You have to get 4,000 watch hours to get monetized. So, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
But
it was fun.
Yeah, that's great. Fun. Anything else exciting?
Let's see, what else was exciting? So it was our 7-year dating anniversary.
Oh,
and I know, isn't that crazy?
Well, that's when you started your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Okay. When you started dating Ilya.
Started my YouTube channel when I started dating Ilya, and when we lived in our studio apartment in Brooklyn.
Oh my God.
Which, by the way, it's so funny. He was going through old photos and he found a photograph of our studio where we started.
It's probably the size of this room.
I mean, maybe a little bigger than this room, but I mean, it was tiny.
Wow.
You know, like,
Aww.
yeah, it was. I was like, can you please send me that? I want to like put it somewhere because like I just want to like remember like that this was our start. Like we started in this like, I think it was maybe like 500 square feet maybe or something like that. So like the funny part is like when we would argue, we'd have to like, I would like go into the kitchen and look outside the window and he would lock himself in the bathroom because like, where do you go?
At least you had a door on the bathroom.
Well, I mean, you had to have a door.
Maybe that's code in Brooklyn, hopefully. Oh my God.
Yeah, the kitchen was like this little cubicle.
Oh
like,
my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but it's like, I don't know. It's nice like looking back at that. Yeah. So we celebrated our 7 years. So we actually went to, did you ever hear of the Block, the Butcher's Block in New Jersey?
No, where's that in Jersey?
Long Branch.
Oh, no, see, I don't really
It's
go
a
up there
steakhouse. It's so hard to get a reservation for it, but we managed to get a date booked because they like sometimes open up the slots on their portal, whatever.
Okay.
So it was really cute. We went there with both babies.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Power to you.
We
actually going to dinner tonight in New Hope, and with Kevin and Bree.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, to Odette's, which we're scoping out as a potential maybe wedding venue.
Mm-hmm.
We've eaten there a few times, but never like from the eyes of maybe having a wedding. So that's one of the reasons why we're going. So I'll keep you updated on what we decide. But I'm like, Bill, can you see if your mom can watch him? Because it's like you feel like you can't really relax. Like you're always on.
Yeah.
Like unless they're totally passed out napping in the stroller. I'm sure you moms can relate. Like when we were in Disney, I like couldn't wait for him to fall asleep because I'm like, oh, I can finally like have a glass of wine and like relax and be in Disney. Yeah, but like he doesn't usually fall asleep until, especially if we're out, like 8, 9 o'clock, and our
Yeah.
reservation's at 5.
No.
Like, because that's what happens when you're a parent. You go to dinner with the old. It's like
our
old people and parents.
4:30.
There you go. Exactly. Old people and new parents. That's
Yeah.
who's eating dinner at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, literally. No, yeah, I said next time I think we got to come here by ourselves.
You have to, because
Yeah.
like you guys both work really hard and you have 2 little ones. Like you need that time. So that's why, thank God, we have the best support system with Bill's parents living 20 minutes away, and then my mom lives with me, so we're able to do stuff for ourselves every once in a while.
That's the best. Yeah.
Oh, that's
cool.
So was it good?
Yeah, it was actually
Would you
really
go back?
good.
Is it worth the hype? Like, are you like?
So I'll be honest, I don't think that, and one of my friends actually wrote the same thing. I don't think that the steak was worth the hype.
Okay.
Like, in all honesty, I think I've had better steak. But I will say that their appetizers were incredible.
Okay.
Specifically, the steak tartare was my all-time favorite. I think I've never had steak tartare that was tasted that good.
Wow.
And their calamari was amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would go back. I mean, it's not like a place that I would go like all the time, but I'm also like not like that really, unless, who knows, maybe I'll become like that. I don't know.
Who knows? Never say
never know, right? But usually I do like to try different places because there's just so many good restaurants out there, you know, whether it's like in Jersey, in Philly, in New Hope, in the city, in Brooklyn, like it's a lot of places.
It's a lot of places,
you know?
Yeah.
A lot
and some
of
really
restaurants.
Quality restaurants. I know.
So like my thing is that like if I go to the same place like all the time, then I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't want to feel like I'm missing out.
I know. But then you go to try a new place and you're disappointed. You're like, I should have went back to my old trusty that I go to that I know I love. That's how I feel about Rocco's. Like in Newtown, we go to Rocco's a lot, and it's so good. Like all the
Rocco's
time.
is good.
Yeah, and then but we do also like Odette's, and we love the Logan Inn. So those are our favorites in this area. But I want to tell you guys real quick about what I did over the weekend, which was Bill and I got glammed up, which we haven't done in forever. And one of my good girlfriends, Nicole, came to my house and did my hair and makeup. I got a spray tan from my girl in Newtown at Bake Spray Tans. And the morning of the event, I went to Nordstrom and bought a dress. It was only $88. I can't believe it. I went to the lady. I was like, I have 1 hour to find a long dress for an event tonight. And she looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, God, do you like living on the edge? I was like, yeah, I just don't have any other option because I'm very busy and I have a little kid at home. And so
what were you going to do if you didn't find it within that hour?
It wasn't an option. I was going to like just deal with something even if I didn't love it. So she brought like 8 dresses out, and like I'm looking at the price tags, like $598, $649, $379. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! The one that fit me that didn't need alterations, $88. I'm like, that never happens to me.
And you looked great.
Thank you. I couldn't even believe it. It was a Lulu's.
Oh.
So you know how like you don't really order Lulu's. So I guess Nordstrom brings some of the Lulu's in store, and I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, this never happens to me. I always get stuck with the most expensive thing. Even if I don't look at the price, it ends up always being the most expensive. Ask Bill. I'm like, go figure. This $88. So highly recommend it. And we went for a good cause. We went to the 10th annual Black Tie Gala for Last Chance Ranch, which is a local nonprofit 501c3 animal rescue up in Upper Bucks County in Quakertown. And I've been involved, whether it's donating time or financially to them since 2017 or 2018, I think. And they just do incredible things in the community. I obviously support every endeavor that they do, but I love what they do for specifically the horses. Every quarter they go to out to Lancaster County, which is where they have an auction at New Holland, which a lot of people don't even know that this happens. So I'm going to use this time to educate people on this. They have these horse auctions where there's kill buyers that go to these auctions and they bid on these horses for like pennies on the dollar, and they're sold basically they look at them based on their weight and then what they can get for their meat at slaughter. It's illegal to slaughter horses in the US, but not illegal in Canada and Mexico. So they buy them, then they're shipped off to slaughter, and then these kill buyers make money on the meat. And it's horrible. I've been a horse lover all my life. I obviously have a horse. And so I started going to these auctions with them and raising money, because the more money we have at the auction, the more horses we can buy and save them from slaughter. We specifically target the horses that we know are getting sold to the kill buyers, which are like the draft horses, the really like sad, real skinny horses that like were neglected and not taken care of and just abused and never had a great life. And it's so incredible to see when the ranch takes them and they put them in quarantine for 30 to 60 days, depending on the situation. And then they give them the proper nutrients and care and love, and then they get them adopted out and they find loving homes for them. So it's an incredible organization. If you guys want more information about Last Chance Ranch, just message me. They are always looking for volunteers to help with the dogs, the cats, the horses. They have other farm animals as well. And their goal was to raise $100,000. And I believe, I haven't talked to Jackie, who's the executive director, since Saturday, but I saw on their Facebook page that they were just about at 100,000 with rough calculations, which is amazing. So amazing. And actually,
it's always exciting, like especially like when you have a goal, like to set that, and like it just shows the amount of people that are coming together for that cause. And I think we should both write their Instagram channel. Yeah. So we'll leave that
in the description when we post this on our Instagrams. And it was there were over 200 people that were in attendance. Actually, I think there were 225 people, she said.
And this was the first time they did it, right? After
so
not having it for 2 years?
I think they did it last year. I couldn't go last year. I think Bill and I were in Disney, actually. Okay. And that's the only reason we didn't go, but they didn't have it in 2020, didn't have it in 21. Okay. So they were really...
But even last year, it was like people were just kind of weird about like getting back.
Yeah, still last year. Yeah.
The fact that they had that many people... That's a lot.
It was so amazing. It felt like everything was finally, I felt like things have been back to normal for a while, but in that world, those I think were ones of the organizations that suffered the most during COVID, because the volunteers were skeptical about coming out and helping, and then like the donations stopped coming in because people were in that scarcity mindset. They didn't know what was going on, and they still have all these animals to care for. And and so now it finally feels like it's getting back to normal. So it was so amazing. And if anyone is listening on here that wants to feel really good about themselves and just give a boost of like happiness, I would strongly consider donating either your resources and your time, which is the most valuable thing, or money if you're able to. When I started donating, which was right after I sold my first flip in 2018, I donated 10% of my proceeds.
Oh, wow.
Which was, I think it was an $8,000 check. And I remember I took the check, I went to the bank, I got a cashier's check, I made it out to Last Chance Ranch, and I physically drove it there. And I handed it to the kennel manager, and it was so crazy because that is so much money. Yeah. And I have student loans still. I had a car payment. I still do. I have a mortgage payment. I have other bills. Like I run the real estate team. And I didn't feel like I didn't have a scarcity mindset when I was driving this check up to them. I was so excited to hand it to them, to know
that you were able to actually give back to somebody.
Yes, it was the best feeling. I'm telling you, it's like this euphoric feeling, and you're on a high for a long time afterwards, and it's addicting. Like you keep wanting to do it. Yeah. So like, when we were at the gala, we donated a substantial amount of money, and it was 10% of my first quarter earnings, and it was really nice. And I find that when you give without any expectation of receiving, all of these blessings come your way from all these different avenues that you would never ever dream of, like what just happened right before we came in here.
Yeah.
and we'll share that later, but
Yeah.
yeah. So and like we donate without any expectation of getting anything back. And once I started doing that, my life changed. So I'll get off my soapbox here, but if you want to feel really great about yourself, even if it's your time, if you don't have any financial means to donate, find a passion and a cause that's near and dear to your heart.
It doesn't always have to be financial.
No, you could go once a month.
Your time is free. You know what I mean? So
you could go once a month and donate your time to an organization that means a lot to you, and you'll feel amazing. So that was what we did over the weekend. It was fun.
I love that.
Yeah. So what time are we at here?
I think we need to wrap
it up. Yep. So we have to get back to work. We got clients.
Believe it or not.
We have emails.
I have an offer to write today.
Nino's got an offer to write. We have
waiting
lots
for
of
actually my
closings in
client,
April.
a VA client who is going through the cash to
keys. I was just going to say
process,
because sadly, I find that VA offers are the ones that are getting they're having the hardest time right now.
They're having a hard time.
Yeah, even more so
though
than
they're
FHA.
the most solid.
I know. It's so sad because veterans are near and dear to my heart. My best friend's husband is a colonel in the Marine Corps. I have a bunch of family members that are currently in the service or have retired. And my stepmom was a Department of Defense employee for 30 years. I have an account at Navy Federal. I worked at the Navy base as a lifeguard. Growing up, VA buyers are like my soul, and it just pains me. So the fact that this Cash to Keys program is meant for conventional VA buyers, if you guys are VA buyers and you have been struggling to get an offer accepted,
or
contact
even if you
us.
have friends or family that you know about, oftentimes I realize it's not just about you, because you might not be in the market or things like that, but this really is an amazing program. I was at a friend's bridal brunch actually, and one of my friends there, I haven't spoken to her in a while, and she actually told me that they were looking to buy a house in Jersey also, and they were getting outbid by significantly, basically in the anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 outbid numerous times. And I said to her, "Oh my God, I didn't even know you were looking. Why didn't you call me?" She goes, "Honestly, we started a year ago, didn't even think about it, completely forgot it. It was a family friend." I go, "Obviously not a problem." And I said, "Does your agent do you know about the Cash to Keys program?" She had no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my God," and they potentially could be winning an offer, if they had that. Yeah. So not every lender does that. So it's important to ask questions. And if you do have a friend or have a family member that's out there looking and they're telling you how stressed out they are because they keep on getting outbid, just reach out to either Becky or myself. We'd love to put you in contact with our lender who offers that program, because honestly, it has won so many offers, especially in this market. And I think that it's going to be like this for a while.
Yeah, I do. It's not going to slow down. If you guys are waiting for rates to drop or for inventory to get better, it's not going to get better, because if rates do drop, inventory is going to get even worse, because all the buyers that are waiting are going to come back into the market to buy. Correct. Which then will be less inventory. So yeah, I could talk about that forever. Yeah. But thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for watching.
Next Tuesday, we'll go back to regularly scheduled programming at 9:30. Yep. Tune in, live coffee chats with Becky and Nino. If you guys have any topics of conversation you'd like us to talk about, any specific questions, feel free to DM me or Nino, or go onto our Instagram business page, the Destination Group _, and you can send us a message there. And I hope you guys all have an incredibly amazing week, and we will see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
The X. Yeah.
Thanks. Oh God, I forgot.
Oh, and.